Hi, my name is Michelle Freeman and I run a company called the Crafty Foxes. Today I'm going to show you how to decoupage. So we're going to look at the kit and we're going to see what's included, and then I'm just going to show you this as a sort of final result. This one is a unicorn. I do all sorts of kits for all sorts of animals, so it might be that you've got something different in your kit, but this is what it's going to look like. Now in your kit you're going to have the instructions. That's what I'm going to talk you through. You're going to have an apron. It's really important that you put an apron on because we are using glue and it does get really messy. And that actually is half the fun of decoupage. So don't let that put you off. And then you are going to get some paper. The paper, I've got all different sorts of patterns. You can buy them yourself from craft shops or off the internet. But in a kit, you'll get a sheet of paper like that. And then you will get, this one we've got a polar bear, but you will get a paper mache animal or shape, maybe a heart or something. And then you will get a special short bristled decoupage brush, and then you will get a pot of glue with a lid on it. But for now, just to show you, this is the glue you'll get. This is what I always use. This is called Mod Podge, and you can get this dishwasher safe, you can get glow in the dark Mod Podge, but today we're going to be just using the gloss Mod Podge, and that is what you'll find in your kit. So I'm going to pour it in a pot, but you will already have it in your pot. Okay. So the word decoupage means the art of decorating objects with paper cutouts. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to rip up our paper. Now leave the glue alone for the moment. So the first thing, I probably ought to show you how the aprons work. People do struggle. So if you lick your fingers, what you've got is half an apron. So you're going to lick your fingers, rub it together, open it out, be careful, shake it. Now it's a kind of one size fits all. So you will open it all out and you will put the apron over your head, and then as per, the straps will go around there. If you're finding it sagging a bit, you can always tie it higher at the back. I don't need that apron on because I've got my branded one on. Okay, so before you get any glue on your hands, my advice is to rip the paper in advance. Now you want your paper to be the size, roughly, of postage stamps. So if you think of a stamp that you put on an envelope, that's the kind of size that we're looking for. If you go too big, if you're feeling lazy and you think, well, I can't be bothered, I'm going to rip bigger squares, it just means that it creases a lot and it doesn't look as nice. So if you can be patient, we want them all about that size, okay? Any smaller, and you could be doing this for the next week. So we don't want that either. So rip them. I've been doing this a long time. I have got a technique. You can cut them with scissors, but actually it's quite nice to have the frayed edge because it glues quite nicely. So there we go. So you're going to have your pile of paper squares. So I'm just going to pour some glue in here. There we go. Right. So you're going to take your shape. Doesn't matter where you start, but what you're going to do, you're just going to glue a small area of the paper mache shape, and then you're going to put one of your squares on. Now look, I'm cheating already because that one is slightly bigger than a postage stamp. And then what you're going to do is glue over it so that you are sealing down the edges. Okay, and then you will be ready for the next one. Now if you were to cover all of this in glue, what you might find is that the glue is starting to dry before you've even put the decoupage paper on. And so that is a waste of energy and a waste of glue. Just be careful you don't put too much glue on. So can you see how I've just wiped it off? Sometimes people find it just as easy to do it with their fingers. There we go. But I have provided you with the professional tool. But that's up to you. See how you get on. So because I'm going around the leg now, I probably would use a slightly smaller piece. And all you're trying to do is overlap slightly. Okay, you're not making a jigsaw, it doesn't need to match. But likewise, you don't want to overlap so much that you're just going over and over and over the same piece. So there we go. I am going to rip those. Look, I've cheated a bit and they're a bit too big. I'm just going to rip those a little bit smaller. And then when it comes to the legs, you're just going to make sure that you have smoothed it around. Always put that coat of glue on the top as well, because we don't want it to be all feathery. We want it to be nice and smooth. And then what you're hoping to do is cover any bits of brown. So at the end, when you say to yourself, am I finished? You can have a look, and if you can see any brown, then I'm afraid you're not. So there we go. This is quite a nice one to do with music on, or have a chat to your family while you're doing it. There's no need to rush it. What you want to do is a good job so that it's something that you're proud of at the end. Okay, now what I'm going to do there, I'm going to bend that around. Hopefully you can see that. So I have just creased that around. I'm going to say hoof, but it's a bear. I don't think they have hoofs. So there we go. And I'm just going to keep going now until I have done all of it. Make sure you do that underside. Make sure you do the belly. Okay. Okay, so once you've decoupaged the whole of the animal or shape that you're doing, and you can see no more paper mache, no more brown, just make sure, just look over it once and just give it one final coat of the Mod Podge. Now, because we're using a gloss glue, that will just give it a little bit of a shine, and it will mean that it just seals it for the final time. So you're just going to go over it one more time. Make sure as you're doing that there are no feathery bits. Keep going all the way round. You don't need a lot of glue for this bit. And then your paper mache shape is finished. Let it dry and you can put it on your bedroom shelf.